Hi, this is Camille again from Camille's Junk Journal Heaven. This is my new journal that I'll be starting in April for myself. It may or may not last me for most of the summer. I don't know yet. We'll see how much writing I do, how many pictures I put in it. I had some fabric in my fabric stash that I thought looked like spring, so I put that in it. I printed this little picture on vellum and put it over the top of a printed page to give it some interest. This is something I had in my stash of lace and everything. The pearls are on a little row and they came from Dollar Tree. This lace here is from Temu, as is the ribbon that I tied it with. I have lace here. This yellow lace was in a stash. I think it was my mom's. And most of the papers in here come from Margaret at 7 Plaza. She had a really pretty spring journal with daffodils and lilacs in it. And lilacs are my favorite flower, and daffodils always remind me of when I was a little girl and we lived in Germany, and we went to Holland one weekend. Actually, we went more than one weekend, but the one weekend we went, it was... we thought we were going to get to see the tulips, but it was too early and the daffodils were blooming, and they were so beautiful, just so beautiful. This is printed on vellum also, and the lace here is from Temu. That other lace, I'm not sure where I got it. I've had it for quite a while. I have coffee dyed paper. Here's one of the little tuck spots pockets that we made the other day in one of my videos. And I have here a flip out. Well, it's not really a flip out on this side, but there's a pocket here and a pocket here, little slide here. This is the little envelopes we made, and I put a paper in there. This is one of Margaret's little pieces of ephemera, and some more lace on that page. This is a side tuck with a journal card in it. I'll probably put more things in it, but I like lots of writing space, and I do take pictures and print them out with my sprocket and put them in my journal, so I'll be doing that for sure. More daffodils. Such pretty, pretty paper. I mean, just look at that. And the lilacs. I have a corner tuck up there. And put this envelope in it. I don't have anything in it yet. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I've got it glued shut. No, I don't. So I can write on the whole thing, which is probably what I'll do. And this is some paper I got somewhere. I've had it for a long time. This is a flip out, and the envelope I used was yellow and it was showing, and I needed to cover it with something, so I took some of that lace and cut it and put it along there. I think it looks fairly good. I haven't done anything to decorate this yet. And there's a tuck spot in here. This isn't from Margaret, but I had it, and it had the lilacs on it, so I thought it looked good. And we'll just kind of flip through this kind of fast. It's such a beautiful bunch of paper she did, just beautiful. This is something I'll show you how to make another day. It's a folding thing. I'll show you how to make that. I've gotten to where I do a little bit of sewing in my journal. My first journals I didn't. This is a writing space in there, and on this side we have a spot for a journal card. This is a tuck spot. I can put anything I want. This is a hidden paper clip, and that's what we're going to be making tonight, is the hidden paper clips. Well, I was going to try and take it off. Need to get it. It's double-sided, as you can see. Each side is different. Some more places to put journal cards or tags. As I get to the back, I haven't got it filled up yet. This is another hidden paper clip in there. More stuff I printed on vellum, and that's the other side of the hidden paper clip there. This is a flip out, and I'll do something on there. I haven't done anything with it yet, just put it in there. It's kind of collage paper. I don't remember where I got that. I don't think that's from Margaret. And some more pages. This is one of the ones we made the other night with the where you can put some cards, journaling cards or tags in it. I need to fill that up and put something in this one. As you can see, I haven't gotten much done in the back. This is a little envelope that you get your silverware in when you go to Cracker Barrel. So I very carefully saved mine and didn't let it get dirty. This is another over-the-top tuck spot, and I've tucked something in this side, this side, and then there's this side. It's the hidden paper clip. This is a pocket that I'm pretty sure it was Edith from Scrapbooking with Me made, where you put the little gusset in the side so that you can put more stuff in there, pack it a little bit more full. And this is something that we'll be making in another video. It's a secret journaling spot. This one I've glued to the page, the bottom of it. Some of them are double-sided and I don't glue them. They just go in as other things. This is the other side of that silverware envelope. This is another kind of a folding thing to put tags in, and I need to put some ribbons or something on the tags. Anyway, this is a Stack Your Stash from the Vintage Paper Girl, Lorette. She did these on a Stack Your Stash, and I put one in here. I haven't done anything with it yet. You're supposed to be able to write in the middle of all these layers and then decorate it, or you can even tuck things down in, glue it down, whatever. I glued it to the page, but as you can see, it folds back here, and there's writing space there. It's the other side of the paper bag. And here's another one that we made the other night. And this one's a double-sided one, so I pasted part of it onto that so that I can have tags on both sides. And that's about the end of that one. I also wanted to show you some that I started working on. They're going to be I'll probably work on them a little bit with you guys. These are bee journals, and I got the fabric from Dollar Tree, believe it or not. I haven't decorated the front. I've got some ideas for it, but I haven't decorated them yet. And the insides are pretty much the same. This is also fabric from Dollar Tree, and so is the little beehive cells, or whatever you would call it. They're pretty much the same inside, so I'll just flip it real quick and show you some of the bee papers. And I don't know where I got all of them. I got them from different places. I think, like I said, I got them from different places. This is some paper I bought from Temu. It's really thin. It's semi-strong. I don't know what I'm going to do with it totally. This is a flip out here. And there's a tuck spot here and a tuck spot here. And another one over here and here. All these interesting papers with beehives and different things on them. I haven't got much done in these. I just basically put the signatures in. Busy Bee. I love these papers. They're so cute. Like I said, I'm not sure where I got them. I think that's just so pretty. And for some reason, bees seem like summer. They seem to like summer. Now this, I know I got from Pink, it's Pink something. And they do kits, and this is from one of their kits. And there will be some tags and things in here because some of them had bees on them. I'll try and think of the name of that and tell you in a minute. It'll come to me when I'm least expecting it. Anyway, those are bee journals that I'm going to be working on later. Now I wanted to show you, I know a lot of people have made hidden pockets. I mean, or hidden paper clips. That's not anything new. But I thought I would show you how to make a few. These are some that I already made. You can make them small. This is a small one. It's one of the first ones I made, and it'll go right over the page. This is one I made. And my advice is, if you're going to cut the shape like this, don't let it get too thick, because that was miserable to cut. So that was kind of a fail. This is one I've made in the past, and it looks like it probably goes on the side to keep the words up straight. Some book page there. There's this one. This one goes on the top. And you can make little bitty ones that are just a cover for your paper clip, so you don't have a plain paper clip. I mean, that's really little. And this is another one with just a pretty little piece here. I put a flower on it. It had flowers, but it wasn't much, so I put another one on it. A rub on, just a label on that side and a little label that I cut down on this side. So I'm going to get some papers here and we'll get started doing these. I guess the first thing we can do is, well, let me see here. Let's do one that's going to be double-sided. And we'll do these two ladies. And we'll need a paper clip. I have that here. And I'm going to put some book page in between that they'll be glued to. They're already on recipe cards, whatever these are. 3x5 cards, which gives them a little bit of stability, which they need. And then I'm just going to fold this paper. Let's see, how am I? Okay, I think I'll make these a side, so they're side, put them on the side of your page. I'll just fold this in half. Yeah, that'll work. All right. And the first thing I'm going to do is get a good paper clip. I don't want one that's sprung. And I'm going to make a little hole right in the middle of that paper where that paper clip's going to go, because what I want to do is I'm going to want to put a ribbon, something on there to make it pretty. And then I'm going to glue this on. Okay, I've got myself confused here. All right, this has to go like this. So it doesn't need to have a hole in it. I apologize. It doesn't need a hole in it. This just needs to poke out just a little bit when I glue it. And I'm going to glue this with the paper clip part. I'm going to put Fabri-Tac on because it's thick and seems to hold the paper clip really well. So I'm going to put that around there. And then I think I'm going to put on a glue stick because it's just so much easier to rub the glue stick around. And it won't need to be all over it, but I'm going to put it pretty much all over it anyway. I should have probably put it on the back of the picture. That would have been a better idea. I'll do that on the other side. All right. Now, some people hold their paper clip down with tape so it doesn't move. I haven't done that, and I haven't found it to be a problem. But if it was to become a problem, it would probably work good to have it with some tape. And I may end up putting some lace along this edge anyway. Who knows? All right. Now, so that these pages will stick together, will be the same size, because the cards were the same size to start with. I'm going to cut this book page off before I glue the other side on. I hope everybody's had a good day. We had some really strong rain last night. I didn't know it was going to rain that much. It said rain, but you know, I live in Alabama. It rains a lot here, and it's not always a heavy rain. So I woke up this morning and looked out, and across the street from me in the neighbor's yard was a lake. My front yard was a small lake. When we bought the property, it was covered in weeds and trees, and so we bought 7/10 of an acre and didn't really look at much of it, except that it had a lot of trees on it. We really liked that a lot. So we bought the property, and when the man was putting our house in, he said, "You realize you have a culvert that comes under the road into your front yard? There's a big pipe out there, and when it rains, it drains from the other side of the street, right down in." So he made a nice ditch around the side of my property so that we wouldn't have problems with it. And yesterday I was sitting out, today I was sitting out there, and make sure they're both the same way up. I was sitting out there on a swing that I have in the front yard, and my little dog was running around, and it sounded like I was out in nature somewhere with a stream flowing. It was burbling, gurgling, whatever you call it, that streams do. It was really funny. I thought, wow, I mean, it runs frequently because when it rains, it drains down into that area, but I've never had a bubbling stream before. Never. So that was kind of interesting. All right. Now that's trimmed down there, and it looks like I need to trim it a little bit here. These larger ones with two sides are a little bit more difficult unless you make them out of the same paper and then just decorate them, but I kind of like the pictures on them. Like this one, it makes it interesting. You turn the page and it's something different. It's not the same thing. Okay. Now I'm going to put that one aside and we'll decorate it in a minute. And I think I'll do, let me see what I have over here that will work. Okay, I have one of these. And I like these because they're pretty and they make pretty paper clips. I just need to trim it. Get rid of all that white. How is everybody? Everybody good? All the pollen around here is just causing allergies for everybody. I go out every day and my silver truck has a greenish yellow tinge to it because of all the pollen that's landed on it overnight. I was going to go get it washed and I thought, why bother? It's just going to be covered in pollen again tomorrow. I'll just wait. I'll just wait till the pollen stops coming down, and then I'll go get it washed. I'm kind of lazy. I don't wash it myself. All right. Now, this one isn't very thick on its own. So I think that what I'm going to do is use a 3x5 card. And I got these plain ones at Walmart, I'm pretty sure. The price was kind of comparable to Dollar Tree, which is where I usually get my stuff like this. But I think that day I was kind of being lazy and didn't want to go to Dollar Tree. I live in a small area and kind of a rural area, and so I don't have a lot of access to things that a lot of people have access to. So Dollar Tree and Walmart are pretty much it for this kind of stuff. Let's see here. I am going to put a little slit in this one because I'm going to want to put a ribbon or something in it, and I'm going to look at it and see if it's going to be a side one also, but a smaller side. Okay. I'll just put a little slit in there so the paper clip can go through. Put my knife away so I don't cut myself. And I'm going to put my paper clip on my card here. Make sure that's going to cover it. Ooh, I better use a small one. All right. And I want that to go through that little slit just a touch so I can put some crinkle seam binding or something on it. Okay. And I'm going to do the very same thing I did with the other one. If I can get the cap to unstick from my hand, I'm going to put my Fabri-Tac down here around there. And then I'm going to use my glue stick, but this time I'm going to put it on this one like I should have done last time. And I ought to have a paper under there to get it so it doesn't make my board all sticky, but I'll wipe that off in a minute. All right. Oh, that's not quite even here. It needs to be even. Okay. Okay. And I like to smoosh the glue out with my bone folder. Dollar Tree. All right. And this side I'll do the same thing. And I'm going to do my glue stick all over here again. See the little hair on there? That's from my little black dog. It gets into my paint. When I paint, it gets on my canvases and all kinds of things. Little dog hairs, but I wouldn't trade her for anything, so I'll just put up with the hairs. Now I'm going to trim this down. It would be real pretty with some fancy punching on the edges, but after the experience I had with the other one, I don't think I'm going to try that. I've got some pretty edges that you can punch. They'd be fun to have, but I don't know how I would work that out on here. All right, I'm going to put that one aside to dry also. Oh, needs to be trimmed a little bit here, so we don't have white showing. And I will probably ink these, but I'm going to wait till they're dry. All right. Now I want to do something a little bit different. And I need I need something. Let me see here if I can find something that I can use. Okay, I think that's a misprint anyway, so I think I can use it. Oh yeah, it's definitely a misprint. I'm going to take a piece of it. It's actually a copy of my husband's discharge paper from the Air Force. And I was making copies for my kids, and it messed up. But it'll work because it's just something, it won't be noticeable when I finish it. And what I want to do with this is make it into a smaller clip, like, well, kind of like this, something small, or this one. And I'll eventually make one of these. They're just lots of fun. Let's see here. I think I'll use half of this. Someday this will be one of those old documents that everybody wants to find. Isn't that funny? You think something that you have now, somebody someday will find the papers and go, oh, that'd be great in a junk journal. Look at how cool that is. It's kind of surprising to think that, but I'm sure a lot of the papers that we have currently, the people that originally had them didn't think that way with them. All right, I'm just going to cut this off here. And here, and it's probably not even, so I probably should get my cutter over here and use it rather than pretend I know what I'm doing. Ooh, that's actually fairly good. Wow, I'm impressed. Okay. All right. Now, trying to decide. I think I'm going to cut this in half and make a really small one out of it. Make two really small ones. We'll make one of the really tiny ones and then another small one. And it's going to be part of it upside down, but that's not going to matter, I don't think, because I'm going to put stuff on it to decorate it. Okay. It's going to call for a small paper clip. And I'll put that on right there. I should have cut the white paper, the white card just a little bit smaller, because when you put the paper clip in, it comes out, but I'll trim it in a minute. I'll trim it in a minute. Here goes the glue. And the glue stick. You know, I've got book page sitting here that I could do this on. I don't know why I'm doing it on there where it's going to get all over everything. I'll just do it over here. All right. And fold that over. The only problem with thin paper like this is the paper clip shows through, but that's not going to matter that much when I get it decorated. And here's the other side. That rainstorm, we had thunder and lightning in the middle of the night. My little dog is terrified of it. So I was asleep and she climbed up on top of me when it started. So then I was conscious of the thunder and lightning. I might have slept through it. I don't know. It wasn't that close and it wasn't that loud, but she thought it was too close and too loud. So we spent a couple of hours snugged up together, comforting her so that she wouldn't be so terrified. She's not real happy when we fly either. She has to go in a carrier and go under the seat in front of me. She's small enough to do that. Thank goodness. Otherwise, I wouldn't get to go anywhere very far distant. I can't sit in seats that long without my neck hurting really bad. Let's push that down. All right. Make sure I didn't do that wrong. Okay, that one can also dry, and then I'll fix it. And I'm all sticky, so I need a wipe. I have these nice little wipes here. My daughter-in-law many years ago said, you need to have wipes all the time, even if you don't have a baby, because you can use them. If you spill down the front of yourself, you can use a wipe to wipe off what it is, unless it's something red and you're wearing white. It'll pretty much take anything off of the front of your clothes, at least to where you can be reasonably seen. Okay, I'm going to make one of these long ones, and I'm going to do it with this book page. I was going to do it with this, but that's way too small. That's never going to work. I'm going to do it with the book page. And what I'm going to do is fold it over twice. And I'm going to put my paper clip on it. And I'm going to use a big one on this one. But the paper clip needs to go in here. And I'll put it over toward this edge. And for this one, I think I'll just use the Fabri-Tac for the whole thing. Why that was coming out. Why does Fabri-Tac do that? Does anybody know why Fabri-Tac does that? Why it comes out and spreads itself, bubbles out. After you turn it right side up, it's still coming out the top. I don't know. I don't know why it does that, but it does. All right. Oh. Okay, I'm going to have to cut this bottom piece here so I can glue the other side. And I might as well cut that off a bit. I don't need all of that. I'm not even going to need half of it. But I do need to glue this side down. Now I can't get it out. Okay. There we go. I don't know. I guess paper clips aren't too bad in your junk journal, but you know, I really don't like just having a paper clip in. I like them either to be cute, which sometimes are hard to come by, or these covered ones. And so a little skinny one like this was just some paper that I printed off and made into the paper clip, and it'll fit right over the edge of a page and hold something on it. But it's little enough that it's not obnoxious. So I kind of like that. And once again, I think I'm going to bring my cutter over so that it's straight. And I'm going to cut this off. Let's see. I want to get that paper clip under there a bit. Okay. That worked. If I can get it out. Okay. There we go. There, it's out now. Now I'm going to have to trim this side just slightly, but I think I'll have to do that with scissors, and the bottom also with scissors. All right. I can do this. This one isn't that much. And this side, to trim it down, isn't too bad. All right, now this one also is going to be able to fit over. It's a little bit bigger than the purple one, but once we get it decorated and some interesting ephemera on it, it'll be real pretty. So I have 3 here to do something with, and let's see what we're going to do. This lady has a butterfly already. I could put another butterfly on, but you know, I think that I will put a flower on her over here or something, since she already has a butterfly, and that's a pretty butterfly. Let's see if I can find a flower that would look good with her. Oh, wrong color blue. Let's see here. My flower, I probably need more of them. Order some that are greens or other colors. These, most of these, I think all of these came from Temu. I like Temu because it's cheap, and well, that kind of blends in too much, but it looks pretty. That's a maybe. Let's see if I can find something that's a, oh, that's too blue. What's this one? Oh, that's pinks and purples. That might go, nope, that's not going to go on her either. But this yellow one might go on her. I'll keep that one out and we'll see what happens with her. Back over to my yeah, I think I already looked at that one and it's the wrong color blue. Ooh. Ooh, this looks like it might work. Oh, yes. That's got the same teal color in it, I think. All right. I'm going for that one. Just where am I going to put it? Down here, up here? I think it's going to go down here. All right. Have to separate that. Either I'm getting better at this or these are easier to do than I thought they were. And I like them because they're clear. I actually like the ones that are kind of papery because when you put them on, they look like they actually belong on the paper, like that's where they came from. And I like those. Now, maybe a label. Let me see, where are my labels? There they are. I've rearranged my room so I can reach all my little containers without having them all out on top of the desk. I don't know why I didn't think of that to start with, but you know, you learn. Oh, that one might be okay. It's green. Oh, this is the same thing, but it's already cut out. I don't know that I have anything that's aqua. That's too much. I have blue, but I don't think blue's gonna, oh, maybe yellow. Maybe something kind of yellow. There's yellow all over the page. And is that too much yellow? No, I think I'm gonna go with it. Why not? All right, I'll get out my little trimming scissors and I'm going to turn over the lid here for the extra stuff. I have all kinds of scissors. I inherited my mom's sewing scissors. My sister didn't want any of them. Although she used to sew quite a bit. She doesn't sew anymore. She didn't want any of them. So I've got like 20 pairs of sewing scissors between mine and my mom's. I went out and bought these scissors at Walmart. It's a set of 3 of them because I wanted these little bitty ones to do cutting out the little stuff. And the set of 3 was only a few dollars more than the small one was. And I told my sister what I'd done, and she said, why don't you just use some of the sewing scissors? And I said, I can't use those. They're for fabric, not paper. And she said, well, you've got so many. And I thought, yes, I do. And it's kind of silly that I wouldn't use them. It's one of those things where you want to save everything back, you know? You don't want to use it. You want to save it. Save it for later. Save it for another time. Save it for better. I don't know. And I don't have any grandkids that sew, any of my granddaughters that sew, so I don't know what'll happen to the scissors in the end anyway, so they'll probably get used for paper. But all my life, I knew I couldn't use my mom's sewing scissors to cut paper. My dad knew better. He had his own scissors. My husband knew better. He had his own scissors. My kids all knew if they touched my scissors, they were dead meat. So, you know, how could I possibly use those scissors to cut paper now? And some of them are really good scissors. They're expensive scissors. I would never use those, but there's other ones that I might use. I'm just going to have to train myself. All right, I think that side looks good. Let's do something on this side. Now I have this one, which has some yellow and some purples in it. That's kind of pretty. Or I have this that's got yellows in it. It has yellows. And there's some little sunflowers over here. Maybe they're not sunflowers. Maybe they're just daisies. I kind of like the daisies. I think we'll do those. And then let me see if I can find a label. Something to go on here. I love her dress. Can you imagine whoever made that dress with all those layers? And women used to wear that kind of thing. I cannot imagine. The seamstress making it and the women having to wear it, and all the stuff they wore underneath it, the corsets and all the stuff like that. They were better women than me. Okay, let's see. Maybe a butterfly on this one too. I'm pretty sure I've got some pretty yellow butterflies or some... Oh, look, that would be just about perfect. Yes, that works. That works. All right. Take the back off of these. Check my time. I'm trying to make these a little bit shorter than what they have been in the past because you probably have better things to do than watch me babble on for an hour, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is. Okay, there's that. And the butterfly, although I enjoy watching some of them that are an hour long, I have insomnia, and sometimes when I can't sleep, I'll put on one of the YouTube channels, and I fall asleep in the middle of it, and then I watch it the next day. It's terrible to say, but for some reason, it just soothes me to have somebody talking in the background. And so I do that. Oh, I should have inked this. I'm going to quickly ink it. It's not going to ink much, but I'm going to get nice and sticky all over me. Well, it's not going to ink much. This says something, grand something in Paris. So maybe that's where you buy these kind of clothes. At the Grand whatever in Paris. All right. And I can see this needs to be trimmed down the side here. It's got too much white showing. And although I can ink it, it's still going to show some of it, so I want to get rid of it. Let's check the other side. Okay, that looks good. Now I am going to ink this one. If you don't have ink, you don't have to ink. If you don't like ink, you don't have to ink. I made a few journals and I didn't ink them, and they look just fine. And then I got some ink. I didn't have ink to start with, and then I got some ink and I liked the ink, so I inked them. It just depends on your personal preference, and that's the whole thing with the junk journal. It's yours. You can do what you want with it. You can make it any way you want. You can make it look like what you want. If you purchase one from somebody, you can purchase one that you like. You don't have to go with whatever everybody else wants. All right, now I want some, oh, where did it go? Oh, sitting right in front of me. Hello. I want some seam binding on these. Well, the dark yellow or the light yellow, I think. Which one do you guys like best? Wish you could tell me. You know, I think I like the dark one because it just kind of brings out the dark in that and that and that. I think I'll use the dark. My seam binding comes from anywhere I can find that I can buy seam binding that's colored. I buy the plain seam binding. It comes to me, and then I crinkle it myself. I dampen it, squeeze it up, or wet it and squeeze it up. Yeah, dampen it, and then kind of leave it watered up till it dries. It's probably a little more crinkled than the ones that you buy already crinkled. And I think the next batch I get, I probably won't crinkle it that much. But I'm cheap, and this is cheaper than buying it from someone on Etsy who already does it. I'm one of those people that sees something and says, oh, I can do that myself. I don't need to buy that. I can do that myself. And I think I'm going to leave that sticking out, and that'll stick out the edge of my journal. I think that's quite pretty. And it'll go on my journal page. We'll pretend this is the journal page. And come on, go in. Oh, for goodness sake. Good grief. All right. It'll look like that, and it can also be a tuck spot for something. I'll probably put some coffee dyed or tea dyed paper under it to write on. But that's really pretty. Both sides are very pretty. And it makes for an interesting hidden paper clip. All right, now this one. Let's see, which one should we do first? Let's do this one. This one's pretty. It's got flowers on both sides, so I don't know that I need a flower. Maybe a butterfly. So I'll get my butterflies out again. I like my butterflies. Where I lived in California, the monarch butterflies came every year. Not too far from where I lived. Oh, that's a little pale, but it's pretty. And I'd get a few in my front yard. Little tiny ones would come around. Oh, that's pretty, and it kind of matches that blue. I think I like that one. All right, and I probably need some kind of label or something for it. on it. Shaw and Shaw. Actually, that could go down the side maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I like that one. Blessings. Oh, that's not a good color. I like the sentiment, but I don't like the color of it. Here's one that's a little bit... I think that says bottled July 25th, 1898. I think I like that one. It's kind of funny. Trim off the corners here that aren't trimmed and ink that one up. I don't think it needs a flower or anything else. It's got the pretty flowers already on it. All it needs is just this label. Ooh, I left my glue open. I hope it didn't clog up the opening. Oh, come on. There it is. Yay. No clog up. All right. So yesterday it rained a lot. Or last night it rained a lot. And I was taking a nap and somebody knocked at my door. I don't get people knocking on my door very often. Like I said, I live out in the country and you don't get like door-to-door salesmen because it's kind of a distance between houses. It's not horribly far, but you wouldn't want to walk the area. We don't ever get trick-or-treaters. Even though there's children down the street, they never come trick-or-treating here. They all go into town where there's more people living. So somebody was knocking on my door, so I went out and answered the door, and there was a young man there, and I have a travel trailer that haven't used in a number of years. Ooh, that's pretty with that. Look at how good that looks. My husband passed away almost 2 years ago now, and he had been on dialysis, and he just wasn't... The last time we'd done much traveling had been a couple of years. Well, I guess we'd made a trip to California about 2 years before that, but that was it. And he just wasn't up to traveling. I kept saying, let's take the trailer and go down to the panhandle of Florida and go down there, because we lived there when I was a little kid. My dad was in the Air Force, and he was stationed at Eglin Air Force Base for 8 years, and we lived there. And I kept wanting to go down there. My husband didn't want to go. So we didn't go. And he passed away, and I could probably hook up the trailer if I got a rear camera, because I have an older truck and it doesn't have a backup camera in it, but I could put one on it probably. And I probably could have hooked it up, but I just decided maybe I didn't need to. So this young man stopped and said, "Is your trailer for sale?" And I said, "Well, actually, it is. I haven't advertised it yet, but it is for sale." Yes, I like the way that looks. And he said, "I was in the neighborhood looking at a trailer that somebody had for sale," and he said, "I'm buying it for my sister to live in, but the one I looked at was in terrible shape," and he said it had a hole in the floor. He said, "I don't mind doing a little bit of work, but I don't want to do that much." And I said, "Well, mine needs some work. It's dirty, and it's had mice in it, and it's had some problems, but, you know," and he looked it over, and he said, "How much do you want for it?" And I told him what I wanted, and he talked me down a little bit, which is to be expected. I think that's the color I'm going to use. Yeah, I think that's the one. And he said, "I'll take it." So I showed him how to, it's a trail manner, and I showed him how to close it down, because you have to know how to close it down and open it back up. It's not a high-low, it's a little bit different. and this happened to be the biggest model they make, although it's an older one. So anyway, he decided he'd buy it, and he's coming back to get it. And I'm very happy with that. It was a blessing because I had been waffling back and forth about whether to sell it or trying to get it fixed up myself and travel with it. And I think the Lord gave me my answer. Told me, no, you don't need to be driving around with that trailer. Okay, now that's also sticking out. I may cut those a little bit when I put it in my book, but I like it the way it is. I kind of like that. So that one's done. Now we have this one, and this one's a top one, and I'm going to totally cover it with things, I think. And we're not going to put, I don't think I'm going to put butterflies on this one, so I'll put my butterflies away for now. And I'm thinking maybe a ticket or a stamp, but let's see what I have in the ticket department here. Most of these I got from Temu. Well, that's a label. That can go in the label. Some of these came from downloads that I got. I could put that on there. But like I said, most of them came from Temu. Now this is a downloaded one. And since the back of this is upside down, I'm going to need to cover that really good. I don't know. That's not much contrast. Let me see if I've got something else. Because I can always cut it down. That might be okay. Yeah, I think that one's all right. But I'm definitely going to want something else on there. Ooh, all right. Let's see what we do here. If I put that on there like that, what else do I want? That's all wrinkled under there, so it's going to need to be down here. And I need to trim it. Before I do anything else, I need to trim it down a little bit. Now, the wrinkle is a mistake, but if you know who Bob Ross is, he's a painter who used to be on TV, on public TV, and he had learned how to paint wet on wet, they call it, from a man named Bill Alexander, who invented it. And Bob Ross always said, there are no mistakes, just happy little accidents. So this wrinkle is a happy little accident. We'll see what happens here when I put this on. But I do need something else on it. Oh, actually, I have some other things here that might work. They're supposed to be tags, but they're kind of tag labels. That could cover up almost all of it. And I could leave that down at the bottom. That's kind of cute, and it could have a date written on it for a travel journal. I won't have anything in the middle because that's where the paper clip is, but I like that. I like that idea. I think I'll use it. All right. And I'm going to use, this is reptile glue. I have a little bitty bit of art glitter glue left, but I have a bottle of this. I started using this. I started watching the Posh Paper Lady She makes all kinds of fun things. She was making little like notebooks and things like that. And a couple of years ago, I made a bunch of those to give to the people at dialysis, that the workers there, for Christmas. And at Thanksgiving, I made something for them that said thank you on it. They were so good to my husband. And he really enjoyed them. He had fun talking to them and having back and forth with them and talking. And he was really good. They were really good to him. So I wanted to give them something to say thank you. And that one doesn't fit. Let me see if I've got another one that's the same size as the one in front, and I may not. Oh, there's one. Every Mile of Memory. You know, I may put that in my journal when I travel this summer, because I am going to be doing some out-of-state traveling. A little. I'm going to go see my sister and some of my grandkids. I have grandkids scattered all over the country. I have a daughter that lives in Nevada and a daughter that lives in Utah, and I have grandkids, a lot of grandkids that live in Utah. And I have a granddaughter, my oldest granddaughter lives in Peru. She married a Peruvian, an Inca Indian, and they live in Peru. And she's coming with her youngest child. She's not bringing all of them. She has 4. She's not bringing all of them this trip because Neffy can't come with her. And so she's only bringing the youngest one. So I get to see her. I haven't seen her since 2016. Okay, I'm going to ink this, and I'm not going to put anything else on it because I think that says it all. And I can put it double on the pages. One can be the one date, and the other one can be the next day. My daughter that lives in Nevada, they also have a house in Prescott, Arizona, and we're going to go there and then go from there to the Grand Canyon. So I can do that, take pictures and put them on both sides of that. All right, so that one's done. That one's really easy and plain. It could have more on it, but I don't think it needs it right now. All right, and then I have this little one. And this one really could be real plain, or it could have something on it. Let's see. I could put that ticket down there that I'd looked at for the other one. Yeah, no, it's too short. It's too short. Can't use that. Darn, I kind of like that. But I have other tickets, and I could cut one down. Depends what color I want it. Let's see. Bring this over here where I can see it better. Like I said, I got all these things from Temu. They're really fun. Some of the places are in England, and I recognize some of the names from places I've traveled, and other ones I have no idea where they are. They're train tickets for here or there and somewhere else. Who knows? Oh, now here's another one dog ticket. I don't know what that is. For conditions of issue, see the back. That I'd have to cut off. But I could cut off the number and then put it somewhere else. Trim a little bit off the bottom. I think that'll work. And then what am I going to put on the other side? I guess I can put this one. Trim some of that off. All right. That works. We'll see what gets trimmed off here. I'm going to trim the edges off to start with and then see what else I need to trim off. Move that out of the way. I like the bottom of this, and it's actually the right size now, so that's going to stay. I think I'll just take it over the top so that the top's covered. Yep, that works. All right, there's my book page to glue on. And I'm hoping my glue stick's going to work. Boy, they're gummy. Every glue stick I own is gummy. Must be the damp. Let's see here. Get it on there right. Glue stick gives a little bit of wiggle room, which is nice. All right, that works. Well, it's not quite straight there, but that's okay. It can be trimmed if it needs to. And then I have this one. And this one I'm going to trim the top. Totally off. And it's going to require just a little bit off the bottom. And the number. I'm going to take the number off of it, but I'm going to put that back on. Okay. Ooh, that's just about perfect. It'll need to be trimmed a little bit on the bottom. I don't know how I got it so good. I'm not usually that lucky. Okay. And I guess it doesn't matter. This one goes sideways, so it doesn't matter which way it goes. But we'll put it this way. All right, and my little number. I didn't ink these, but I'll ink around the edge of them in a minute. But I'm going to ink the number before I put it on. And I think we're just about done. I really enjoy talking to you. And I hope you're enjoying the videos. I'm going to try and do some things for very beginners. My daughter suggested that she and her friends, she has some friends that get together and do crafts. And she said, we would probably enjoy making a junk journal, but none of us know anything about it. So if you did a video, a very basic one, and did step-by-step, maybe multiple videos, so they could get together and do their crafts together. Oh dear, that's on crooked. I don't want that crooked. That they would probably enjoy it. So I think I'm going to think about doing that. A series of simple things like that. And then I'll refer them back to anything like the paper clips or something that they might want to make to go in their journals. All right. So here we are. We have, I'll put that ticket back in the ticket. We have 4 different paper clips here. I didn't make one this narrow, but you can always do that. It's not hard to do that one. This is a side tuck one. Oh, and I was going to ink around this. That'll take care of that white edge around there. And it's always nice to get rid of the white edge. And this bigger one, I may put some lace around part of it or on the bottom of it. I'm not sure yet. I'm not going to do it right now. The video's been long enough, and if I put it in my journal, I'll maybe do an update on the journal. But anyway, those are pretty. Two-sided. This one's two-sided, and I'm kind of excited about using that for the travel. I don't know that it matches my journal very well, but that's okay. And then this is just a small one. Oops, needs a little trim down here so we don't have white edges. And it also needs to be inked, but you don't need to watch me ink it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching my video, and please like and subscribe and comment on anything you want to do. Any comments, any ideas anybody has for a better way to do something, I'm open. And I thank you for coming. This is Camille at My Junk Journal Heaven.